Welcome back. I'm Randy Bueller, sitting in with a little pregame action. Both teams in the finals are off building their decks. You probably were here while we watched them draft those decks. Also watching them draft their decks was Justin Gary, our man down on the floor, who then went over and talked to the players and watched as they built their decks. What'd you see, Justin? How's it going down there?
Hey, it's going well. Well, it's some very interesting reports from both teams.
All right.
Both teams think that they are actually favored in the course of this matchup.
Interesting.
Jerome Remy, I spoke to him. Remember, we were excited about that Mastermind going around the table. He says Mastermind's not going to be that good in that matchup because his deck's way too aggressive, and the time it takes to start using the Masterminds is not going to come up in that match. So he thinks he's going to have the edge there. Ishida, that was a match where I gave it to Ishida. He says he thinks it's about a 50-50 matchup. He's really afraid of Isochron Scepter. He has no way to get rid of it. So if an Isochron Scepter comes down with like an Echoing Decay, he thinks he's done. But otherwise, he thinks he's got a reasonable chance.
And Remy's got a bunch of things to put in the Scepter.
He's got Terror. He's got Bolt. He's got the Decay, Lose Hope. It's a very strong card for him. In the B matchup, Yelger he actually agrees with the pick from the Japanese of taking the Luxative Mystic over the Pulse of the Fields.
Really?
Yes, I was shocked by it too because I think Pulse of the Fields is really huge there. He said he'd rather have Luxative Mystic any day of the week.
Wow.
He thought that was a really good pick for them. The other major pick issue there was the taking Razor Golem over Stir the Pride. When Yelger did that, he thought it was right. Now he's second guessing himself because Stir the Pride is the card he is afraid of the most. And on the other side, Akita thinks the key card for him is his Murderous Spoils. He thinks it's amazing in the matchup.
Okay.
He's going to be able to undermine some of the really great stuff, the Cranial Plating, the Imperial Plate, etc.
Did you hear anything about Pulse of the Field from him?
He wasn't afraid of it. I asked if he was afraid of any cards from the other deck. He had nothing. He just thinks the matchup's in his favor. He thinks he's going to dominate it. The most interesting results, however, are coming from the Camille versus Okamoto match.
Okay.
Now, we all saw Camille open the bomb after bomb after bomb, creating an incredibly powerful deck. Jin Okamoto, not usually a man to boast, thinks he has the edge in that matchup. Now, if this were coming from an American team or an American player, I would say, all right, yeah, sure. But, I haven't known Jin Okamoto to, put much bluff and bluster in. So if he can pull this off and he really has the edge there, he's going to become my new personal hero.
All right, there you hear it from Justin Gary. Thanks, Justin.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I have been joined in the booth now by Brian Kibler on my left and Osip Lebedovich on my right. So, Osip, we got this forums thing going on. We're talking to players to see what they want. One of the questions they asked, where's Osip? Wake him up. Get him in the commentary booth.
I apologize to everyone out there. It was a late night last night, and I forgot that there was commentary to do this morning.
Sounds like me.
Yeah.
It doesn't remind me of anyone.
I got here at 8 in the morning. You were here.
I was here early this morning, but I've missed my cue now and then.
So I didn't actually see the draft. Who has the better decks?
We'll give you some deck lists. Talk about something entertaining. Meanwhile.
All right.
Come on, put you on the spot.
I mean,
that wasn't
be funny.
I came in 9th at the Pro Tour. That's almost
That's hilarious.
How was your Pro Tour weekend?
It was good. I mean, I wish I would made top 4. Like we tested with the Dutch for a week, and I'm glad they made top 4. And most of the teams we tested with did pretty well. So. I mean, you played in this too, right, Killer?
I didn't do so well.
Your team was, it was you, John Finkel, and a homeless man you picked up on the street? Oh, wait, no, that was Eric Froelich. I'm sorry. I can't believe I mistook him for a homeless
man on the street. I didn't think Eric Taylor was here.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it was a fun time. I mean, we drafted with, did anyone have a Rude Awakening in this draft?
No.
No? Okay, because Heroin was afraid that he was going to lose to that in the finals. Because I actually beat him 4 times in a row with that card in testing.
When we were interviewing,
that card is absurd.
Yeah.
Absurd.
They hate it, though. The Dutch hate it.
Insurrection.
Yeah. When we first tested with them, they hated Rude Awakening, and we loved it. And then we slowly, we liked it less, and they liked it more, and we reached it in the middle where it's a playable card that's pretty good.
Chris Pikula almost used it to get himself a seat on day 4. It was 1 point of damage short with a Rude Awakening on the last turn. His opponent actually randomly Reapensowed in the middle of the game, the kicker for no good reason. Just it turned out that was the whole game.
Yeah, but luckily Pikula managed to misplay in ways to not make top 4.
It is true there was a very subtle play that Pikula saw right after he missed it.
Yeah.
Right after he came 1 point short.
Most people don't have much experience with plays involving Inflame.
It's true.
I didn't even know what the card did, actually, until someone told me. But I'm glad that Pakula didn't make top 4, because if it did, I mean, the top 4 would be way too interesting and entertaining. I mean, it's much better this way: 2 Japanese team, a Canadian team, and Dutch players. You know?
Yeah, I'm actually, feeling kind of in Pakula's shadow with the ESPN footage that's been shown. The World's Finals one with Selden and Ruben.
That was his last top 8. That was 6 years ago.
That was his last. Gee.
It's been 6 years since his last top 8.
6 years.
6 years.
Wow.
He almost had another one.
I've only been playing Magic for 6 months. I can't imagine playing that long.
You want a deck list? You got
Oh,
deck
please.
list.
Von Dutch.
So I haven't had a real chance to look at the forum since the draft is kind of intensive to watch. They're asking what we think of the Pro Tour schedule. I know we put this up, schedule for 2005 for the Pro Tour. Columbus, Nagoya, Atlanta, Philly, London, Worlds in Yokohama, and National
dirty
Golf.
Columbus, Philadelphia. Ooh, that's nice. Baltimore, that's pretty good. Although 2 Japanese Pro Tours, that's quite a trip.
Yeah, it's 1 Japanese Pro Tour, and then it's the year for Worlds to be in Japan. So Worlds is in Yokohama.
Yokohama is great. I love Yokohama last time.
Yokohama's a great
lot
city.
of fun. London I've never been to, so that should be good. Atlanta, I mean, that's Kibler's hometown, so that should be good too, right?
Actually, I was joking with Randy earlier. I've lived in Atlanta for 5 years now, and I'm actually probably gonna move by that Pro Tour.
Oh, that's nice. How convenient.
They're like, oh, we'll put a Pro Tour there. You're moving what? All right, yeah.
There's also a question in the forums asking if there are any age limitation for these tournaments and how do people qualify. That was too quick to see. Was wondering. So the way it works, there's no age limitations. We do have a Junior Super Series, which you can only participate in if you're 15 or younger. Meanwhile, for the Pro Tour, there's 3 basic ways to qualify. You can accumulate a really high rating by playing in DCI-sanctioned tournaments of any kind. You can win a Pro Tour qualifier, or if you do really well in previous Pro Tours, then you get in on Pro Points. I mean, that's how the regulars qualify.
Or if you're Chris Pakula, you get the invitation for going to the invitation.
Yeah, there's a couple random ways. Like you can win.
Hammer invite, the Pakula rule.
You can win if you're in the Magic Invitational, you automatically get invited. And there's a new one. We're actually just announcing this week. There's going to be on Magic Online. We're going to give away a spot to Worlds.
Exciting, like last year.
Just like last year. So there's a Worlds qualifier.
Won by Gainsay. Or
last year, Gainsay, Andrew Cuneo. He was on the ESPN video that we just saw. It's Andrew Cuneo's team. So the Worlds qualifier on Magic Online starts in 2 weeks. And
second place in that tournament? Cool Ao Paquette, who made a top 8 this year.
There you go. It's going to be 2 weeks of qualifiers this time. So every constructed premier event from the 26th until the 8th that is.
Now the premier events are working?
Now the premier events are working. It's great. And then so it's 72 events where the top 8 qualify. And then on August the 8th, there's a championship match where first place is an invite, airfare, and hotel for 2.
I encourage everyone to go out and try, no matter what the age. I mean, you can be as young as my teammate Patrick Sullivan's only 14 years old. You can be ranging from 14 or be as old as 45, like Mr. Gary Wise.
Or Josh Ravitch is actually about 60.
Josh Ravitch is actually celebrating his 60th birthday.
I saw Josh Ravitch. Somebody was telling me, they first met him. It was like
I met him when he was 15, and he was
playing JSS in the story. Yeah, he was playing JSS.
30.
It's like, who's the old man? He's playing in the JSS.
He's the only JSS player collecting Social Security insurance.
They call him Gramps, right?
Yeah, Gramps.
Yeah. That's teammate of Chris Pakula, so he almost put up the top 4 here.
Who's one of the best team names in the tournament, I think.
Pakula,
the Max Fisher player is so good.
Pakula gets a lot of grief, but he's actually used to put up a lot of good finishes back in the day. Yeah. I believe he beat a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the finals of Pro Tour, whatever, the first Pro Tour ever. Or no, maybe he only made top 8, I think, that time.
He had top 8 in Dallas and Atlanta.
And he only won because he peeled against the Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
he messed up.
He messed up. T-Rex gave him a chance to pull it in.
But won anyway.
He won anyway. I think he actually messed up in the flame back then, too.
All right. It looks like we're about ready to start, so we will take just a real quick break, set up our shot. We'll be right back with championship match coverage. Here we go.
And we're off.
Hello and welcome to the Pro Tour Seattle Championship match. I'm Randy Buehler. I'm sitting in with Osip Lebedovich and Brian Kibler, and we're getting ready to watch quite a match. The draft was very interesting. The deck building, everybody in the room is buzzing. Who's it going to be? Is Shop Fireball going to win the Pro Tour, or is it Von Dutch? Right on your screen, you see Itaru Ishida and Jérôme Remy, and they're ready to go. They can start. Itaru Ishida, the captain, the brains behind this organization. He's been directing every draft all weekend. His Shop Fireball boys all say their strategy this weekend, trust Itaru. And then Jérôme Remy, great player. The Dutch team has by far the best resumes in this top four, and they haven't won a whole lot. The Dutch players have been great on Pro Tour for many years, but I think the only Pro Tour they actually won was Tom Vanderlot winning Worlds a couple years ago.
Tom Vanderlot winning Worlds is their only actual victory. So Camille came close many times.
Yeah, Camille with a couple seconds, Remy with a couple top eights.
This is actually, Remy was eliminated in the quarterfinals of both of his previous top eights, so he'd be very happy to win this one.
They're off. It's Ishida has basically an affinity deck, sort of blue-black, and he picked up some Sunburst cards toward the end. I don't know how much of that he actually wound up in his deck list. Remy, meanwhile, really nice aggressive black-red deck, full of removal. It's got an Isochron Scepter that has Ishida particularly scared.
We talked about the matchups before. I was giving the edge to Itaru then, but when I went over and actually looked at the decks that the players constructed, Jeroen's deck is really good. I mean, he has all kinds of aggression. I mean, he just has a lot of like fast, aggressive creatures. He has multiple blind creepers. He has multiple Oxida Golems. There we have Juggernaut. Sure. He has War Boar, and I mean, he has multiple Lose Hopes, Bolt, Terror, all kinds of removal.
I mean, typically the red-black deck has its best matchup with the blue-black deck because the blue-black just can't deal with the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
And Jérôme actually has an Isochron Scepter.
Yeah, the Scepter can be absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, even Scepter on Loose Hope is absurd. You have to scry every turn.
Although Mere Quadrupod seems to be doing quite the job of holding up the Brawler, at least for one turn.
Quads is a large man. He's got quite the back.
Juggernaut must attack. Heads in. Quadrupod blocks the Brawler. Ishida takes 5.
Let's see if he has the echo.
That's an exciting. This is a creeper.
No, blind creeper.
It's a lot of creatures.
Pretty good start. That's the aggressive start we were talking about.
Blind creeper's not so hot right now. It gets a lot worse when the game goes on. I mean, particularly Ishida's deck with affinity and such, he can play a lot of spells in one turn.
What is that?
That's Trinket Mage.
Oh, Trinket Mage.
That's going to be a second spell. It's possible that Blind Creeper will just die.
Yeah. It's an Arcbound working.
That's unfortunate.
But that's the best thing he has
supposed to be an unbiased commentary back here.
I am unbiased. I'm rooting for both of them.
Oh, okay.
And he's not casting the worker?
I think he's just shuffling his deck.
Oh, I thought he was passing the turn.
No.
Worker.
There's the worker.
Another spell. First spell.
No.
He flies over with Glimmer Ninja.
Yep.
Ooh. Oh, Mask of Memory.
It's a good spell to kill a creeper.
Not a bad third spell. He's got the only flyer, too.
Mask of Memory and Advanced Hover Card.
Yeah,
that's
good.
A fine combination of cards.
Yeah, it looks like the aggressive right here.
You out of steam?
Jérôme didn't really get much of a start this game. I mean, he has a lot of 2-drops, multiple acceleration spells.
His first play was the Brawler.
His first play was turn 3 Brawler.
Brawler brawls.
He needs a lot of removal right now. He has to get rid of Master Memory before.
Chump the Juggernaut, put the counter on the quad. That works. Now the Quadrupod can start beating up the Brawler next turn. And he preserves his 15 points of life. Ishida seems to be doing everything right.
Absolutely. He needs to kill either that mask or that hover guard real quick.
6 mana.
Rustmouth Ogre.
Not a bad threat.
That's not a bad fellow. I mean but Quadrupod can kill it.
Mask of Memory onto the flyer. Sends it over. Draws a couple cards.
See, Mask of Memory is one of the cards that is huge in this matchup. Against the red-black deck, I mean, getting ahead in cards is really important.
If their whole strategy is removal based, and you can get card advantage, you outrun their removal.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can 1-for-1 them all you want, but if they're drawing more cards, then it really doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I mean, Mask is one of the best cards in Mirror, and I mean here, I mean you get not only card advantage but card selectivity. I mean, it's not even just draw a card. It's draw 2, discard 1. I mean, it's a looter and extra cards.
The forums are asking about Champions of Kamigawa. Interesting. There's actually Champions of Kamigawa art on display here. There are land murals. I don't know if we probably get some pictures of those. The pre-release is September 20th, and then it comes out on the first Friday in October. So one of the questions was how many sets by Philadelphia? Philadelphia is in May, so block constructed. The Pro Tour, I believe, has 2 sets, and then the qualifier round will have all 3 sets. That's how that works. So the quadrupod with the counter blocks the brawler, like we were expecting.
Yep.
Yep.
That would have been huge. But
yeah, if that ogre gets through, it's enormous, but
instead,
Jin wasn't having any, or Itaru wasn't having any of that.
Itaru takes 5, and goes 2 free cards.
It seems okay.
Now he's getting quite a few more cards.
What is it? That really
that just means he saves the brawler, and he gets the scry.
He doesn't have the land there.
It seems like you might want to. If you lose,
Did you put them both on the bottom? Well.
Okay.
Well, why don't we go down to our spot on the floor real quick and get an update on the other matchups? Can we do that? Okay. Go for it, Justin.
Hey, Randy. All right, just quick updates on the other matchups. The Yelger-Akita match is currently mired down. Yelger has a Luxon and Anchorite, and Akita has a Luxon and Mystic, which both seem to be really keeping
sounds fairly anchored down.
Yep. And in the other matchup, Camille had to play a 2/2 Arcbound Wanderer. That's the 6 casting cost Sunburst guy, so his Sunburst doesn't seem to be working out as well, and he's getting attacked as we speak.
Meanwhile, Itaru Ishida just irradiated, sent his flyer over again.
Yeah, he's
looking good for Itaru Ishida right here.
Yeah, he's got
Mask of Memory.
Oh, and a Mirror Enforcer.
This is
huge.
Not going well.
I mean, the Rustmouth Ogre was his biggest threat.
Yeah, Rustmouth Ogre was really scary, but Juggernaut and Brawler, not quite exciting. I mean, he's gonna attack his Juggernaut.
Juggernaut has to attack, yeah. Ishida can tend to trade.
Now, I mean, you're against the Mask.
Even his Electrosky Volt won't be able to.
Yeah, this game is slipping away very quickly. I mean, very few people can come back from being hit with Mask once or twice, and I mean, this is the 3rd attack.
Well, at least the Itaru is not drawing 3 cards a turn. Oh wait, yes he is.
He has to discard 1, so it's fair, right?
Yeah, I guess that's a little fair.
I mean, he doesn't get all of the cards.
Next to the Golem and Goblin Brawler. Double block the Quadrupod. Ishida trades for the Ox of the Golem. And yep, there's Mask of Memory doing its business.
Hopefully, Itaru have no more spells.
It seems very likely that. I mean, Remy doesn't have any spells, so it seems only fair that Ishida doesn't. I mean, that's just a 30-30 or something.
4/4 Thrasher. Not too bad.
Is it a 4/4?
I think he has a 3 of those, I think.
4/4.
Yep.
And there's game 1. Itaru Ishida has taken game 1. 1-0 lead. Score 1 for Shop Fireball. Let's try to get our cameras over to one of the tables in the back and take a look at what's there. We're going to go to the back right match. We're going to go to the Jin Okamoto match. Jerome Ramin not very happy, sort of thumbing through his sideboard. All right, well, that's Tsuyoshi Ikeda and Yelger Vigersma. Talked about them. They had Anchorite and a Mystic squaring off. They both got arrested, kind of mired down. Thought we were going to go to the other match, but we can get a chapter. Yeah. So, Justin. So there we got white versus white. Those are the middle decks.
Yeah, that matchup ends up a stalemate quite often.
Yeah, I think we'll have plenty of time to get to that matchup later. So we're actually going to move our cameras to the other table. Camille Cornelissen taking on Jin Okamoto. Camille, we talked about, opened bomb after bomb after bomb.
We'll get to them in a moment. We're still sitting here.
I've got 4 cameras here.
Hey, this is the one they see.
There's
There we
Jin
go.
Okamoto. World's runner-up with the tiger shirt.
This matchup is actually a battle in fashion sense.
You think?
We have Von Dutch, you know, the trendy clothing brand, versus the tiger shirt. I'm gonna have to go with the tiger shirt for fashion.
Okay.
But with Camille for the matchup.
All right. All those bombs. There's Camille Cornelissen. His
Get a good shot.
draft
You
was.
can't see anything exciting about the shirt right here. With Jen, you just have the tiger right in the shoulders, leaping out.
So the Von Dutch is too low on the shirt. It's not as exciting.
Well, not only is it too low, but it's just not flash. It also just doesn't have a tiger. Anything with a tiger is better than anything without a tiger.
And if anything, I mean, when you think about Camille Cornelissen, you don't think about anything but flash.
Yeah, I mean,
Camille's very flashy.
He's an ostentatious fellow. I mean, you can't get him to shut up.
I mean, we needed him to take off his top hat and monocle for the match because it affected the camera work, but he's a very flashy guy. One of the most flashiest Dutch players.
Most flashiest.
Yeah, I know. I plucked that English guy.
It's clear that you're a writer.
Am I?
There we have a shot of his shirt. Von Dutch. I thought it was a nice team name choice for that.
That's Dutch for the Dutch. For those of you at home.
That is Spanish for the Niña. We have.
Oh, no.
Stop. Rebuke you.
Rebuking ceremony. Puts both of those artifacts on top of Cornelissen's library.
Well, maybe he can make the wander a little bigger now.
That'll make Cumulux cost more when he.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cumulux will still win.
Cumulux can hold the fort. I even forgot about Cumulux when I was telling going
The
through
bombs that Camille had? Yeah.
Cumulux, that guy is ridiculous. He is actually a dragon. Like, he is. He's a dragon. And he's a dragon who often costs, like, 2.
I mean, this spell is still pretty crippling. I mean, I hate casting Arcbound Wanderer once, let alone twice.
It is embarrassing.
Bunch of you on there out in the internet. We've got more people watching now than we've had watching one of these webcasts before.
Really?
It's nice. Yeah, it's fun.
Well, hello, everyone. How are you?
We have a message here on the message board. Why is Kibler so awesome? And
Where
it's
is
by someone named Kibler's mother. 28.
Plans for tournaments in Canada in the future. There aren't any Pro Tours next year in Canada, but there will definitely be lots of tournaments.
What's a Canada? Oh, the country. Sorry.
In a country that can actually put people into the top 4.
Yeah, not like, wait a second. Hey, I'm American. We came close.
I just noticed it.
Yeah.
Viamon44 wonders why Nationals next year is standard in Rochester instead of booster. Why is that? Well, it alternates every year. Every other year is standard. Every other year is booster draft. Meanwhile, Cornelissen attacking with Camille.
A good thing to attack with.
12.
It's not a bad one.
It's like, hello, I'm a 5/4 flyer.
Similar, by the way, to the way Worlds formats rotate. Every other year it alternates between Booster and Rochester. Worlds also has a third format, which alternates between extended and block constructed.
There was actually also a question in the boards that asked if there were any plans for 2-headed giant or emperor Pro Tours in the future.
How would that be?
Oh, please.
I think they should actually change the team format to emperor. You actually just build your emperor decks, and you draft your emperor decks.
Might be fun.
I would love to see that.
Infused Arrows comes down for Cornelissen. Meanwhile, this just in, Jelger Wiegersma has taken game 1. So we're even a game apiece. Jelger Wiegersma has put up a win for Von Dutch, but over in that first match, Jérôme Remy fell at the hands of Itaru Ishida.
Camille only has a 5/4 flyer and serrated arrows in play. So, I mean...
So you think Von Dutch is going to take the tiebreaker game here? Is that what you're saying?
I'm thinking that the Camille will manage to pull this one out. I mean, he is facing down a Goblin War Wagon.
I mean, in testing, the Dutch almost never lost the draft. That's why I wasn't surprised when I found out.
I mean, Camille never loses, ever. He actually never has in his life.
And when they were testing, Gerard Fabiano sat in for Camille, and Gerard's awful. So, and the fact that they still won is only a testament to Jelger and Heroin, or Jerome.
Yeah, we were interviewing Jérôme yesterday, and it was like, Yeah, my name is, I can't even pronounce it.
Yeah.
Dutch.
I believe it's
Heron.
It's
It's got like an H sound, right? It's like Heron. And he's like, yeah, but people call me heroin because it's just easier for the Americans to say.
Heron.
Just sort of resigned to being heroin.
Heron, where me?
Heron? I don't know. I was staying in Holland for a while with those guys after Worlds in Berlin last year, and I still can't pronounce it.
Yeah, the funny thing was, your own parents are actually from Brooklyn, born and raised, so I have no idea why they named them that.
Apparently, someone was trying to convince Lindy that Katsuhiro Mori was actually from Detroit.
Is that true?
Of course, it's not true.
Those crazy Japanese. Jin Okamoto actually owns a tiger of his own at home in his ranch estate.
With his Worlds winning, he purchased a tiger. I mean,
He calls it Betty. Betty the tiger.
I mean, if I could afford it, I would own a tiger habitat.
Shane untapped his war wagon. Charles Card.
No one ever likes to untap the war wagon. But
They shouldn't attack with it then.
desperate time.
He needs that war wagon. It's his offense.
Quite the opposite.
He's got a war wagon and a replica. His opponent has a Cumulux.
Take 4.
Is that how Cumulux is pronounced? Cumulux.
Homelocks.
We gotta get Antonino in here and get him to try and pronounce it.
Antonio De Rosa is known for his pronunciation skills.
Aquamoivia. I think actually the best quote from the entire Pro Tour coverage so far was in Antonino, Rich Hohen, and Ben Stark in their team sealed construction when Antonino asked if he could cut Ferocious Charge from his deck, and Rich Hohen said, "Only if you can spell it." The Ferocious Charge stayed in the deck.
Okamoto just attacked with the war wagon and the wizard replica. I believe, yeah, Camille took 4. He's down to 7.
That's particularly amusing to me because I edit Antonino's articles for Brave Person, so. He has many a Frangren firstborn in a deck.
See if you can work Brain Burst into coverage.
That's the second time I've mentioned it.
Ouch.
Only the second.
Zing.
Who do you write for, Russ?
I don't write for anyone.
Do you wanna?
Wait, what do you do for a living Kibble?
I play Magic and write about Magic.
Where do you write?
Nowhere really.
It sure looked like Camille was in good shape when we got over here, but that rebuking ceremony seems to have set him back quite a bit.
I mean,
I'm still pretty sure he's gonna win. I mean, he's got the arrows out to take care of the wizard replica.
he's a Cumulux.
He's a Cumulux, so keep attacking.
Cumulux.
And he's still got a Wanderer that he's gonna cast next turn that can easily block these.
The Wanderer would be 4/4 next turn?
Not sure.
Oh, there's
bolt.
Is he double bolting it?
Presumably.
Maybe you just forgot. Oh.
It's like, oh, that's not Somber Hover Gun?
That's not an artifact feature.
2 electrostatic bolts necessary to dispatch Cumulux from the board, but that's exactly what Jin Okamoto does.
Now, all hope
It's
left.
actually awesome that Camille just sits there when there's probably nothing he can do. He just sits there and stares.
I mean, Camille's known for his fast-paced play, but he's going pretty slowly now.
There is Silvermere. Very exciting.
Well, it will be once the Wanderer gets out. At least he can move modular or something.
I actually overheard a conversation while I was walking around in the tournament hall. Someone was boasting that he has at least one of each meal.
That is quite exciting. He wasn't playing either of them? He wasn't playing any of them?
No, I'm saying that he owns it.
Oh,
that was what he was boasting.
Oh, really? He
Not
traded
that,
for
but
them?
yeah, he managed to get one of each.
That must have been Nate Heiss.
Perhaps Tony side. We actually used to have debates. Who wins in a trade? Ben Stark or Chris Benefit? Side or Nate Heiss?
That's a tough one.
That's a trade top 4 pro.
I think that's actually be a format for Worlds next year.
Just trading?
Yeah, trading.
Camille attacks with Silvermere and then plays, what is that?
Archon Wanderer.
Archon Wanderer.
Did he attack with it?
Yeah, he just
rather than put a counter on?
Chunked over for a point of damage.
Oh, wait, he already has it.
He has that.
Meanwhile, let's go down to our spotter on the floor. He can give us another update on that Jelger Wiegersma match.
Hey, Randy. Yeah, this match is looking pretty brutal. We've got Jelger opened with turn 2, Leon Inspire, turn 3, Razor Golem, turn 4, Skyhander Cub, and Auriok Glaive Master, to which Akita responded by not playing his third land until turn 4.
Oh, boy.
Good game.
Oh, boy. We may want to grab a wide shot of them as fast as we can. Doesn't sound like Tsuyoshi Ikeda's got much time left. Jelger Wiegersma smashed him
he
out.
has a headdress. Don't count him out.
Jelger's never lost ever.
Did he bounce his Cumulux or something? I'm confused.
No,
Mirror. I was like, did he bounce Cumulux and replay it? Now this is actually
Mirror Golem.
This is actually looking like...
Looking good for Jin.
Jin.
Camille's at 6?
He had artifact removal in his deck.
He has Raptor Reigns and Oblivion.
We haven't really seen the bombs come out. Camille's got
Echoing Run too, I believe.
Yes.
As long as you can deal with the replica and the mirror golem, you should be fine. He's got a way to deal with one of them.
the board wants you to win an invitational and make Forest Tiger. JSY 2490 says just a G2.
The actual the card that I submitted this year was just submitted, just as a proving a point that Skullclamp was too good, and Skullclamp got banned immediately afterwards. It's clearly my responsibility. But the past 2 years, the card that I've actually wanted to submit every year, if I actually won, would certainly have a tiger. It would certainly either be a tiger or at least have some association with a tiger in the art. There has to be a tiger in the art of my card somehow. I was actually quite upset that the cat race was lions rather than tigers.
Oh, sorry.
A lot of people don't know this, but in Kibler's apartment, he actually has a portrait of himself petting a tiger, sitting on a throne above his bed.
It's actually a video of myself, watching a video of myself, playing a game, wearing a shirt with a tiger, which is a picture from that portrait.
You say that sarcastically, joking around, but I know for a fact Kibler has actually videotaped himself reading his own feature match coverage and then watches that videotape.
Osip has made this joke 12 times.
I only wish it were a joke. I wish. Sadly, it's the truth.
Someone actually made a joke fan site at BrianFanatic.com after you kept making that joke during the coverage. It's actually up, and it has a link to my live stream. It's so ridiculous.
Camille uses
he actually made a cartoon of me.
Meanwhile, Camille uses all 3 infused arrow counters to get Wizard Replica off of the board.
Oh, that's one step.
Still got the Mirror Golem to deal with.
Is he going to attack with his...
I can't imagine attacking.
You can't. I mean, big attack. Oh, it's a Mirror Golem. Okay.
There we go. All right. Suddenly things look much better now.
I mean, the war wagging will kill him in 2 hits. This is really depressing thing.
Yeah,
it's a war wagging.
That's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's a war wagging.
How many cards are left in Jin's hand? He has to use double bolt.
Oh, and it's all over. Jelger Wiegersma has defeated a mana-screwed Tsuyoshi Ikeda.
He managed to pull it out.
Pulled it out. Amazing draw against one land. So Von Dutch has a full match on their side. Meanwhile, we're still in Game 1 here, and we put a hold on Game 2 over the other match. Heron Remy will be taking on Itaru Ishida in Game 2 as soon as this game ends. So Von Dutch is up a match, but Itaru Ishida is up a game, and Jin Okamoto is threatening to take Game 1 here. Deal with another couple questions from the boards. The Pro Tour is switching over, as a couple people have noticed, such that the Pro Tour season will be the calendar year. Doesn't really change the formats. We'll still have the same number of Pro Tours every year, but by the end of next year, we'll be synced up. Now, Camille's actually at 8 life, apparently. Is that right? Is that what I heard?
Well, next year's team.
Yeah.
Next year's team Pro Tour is in March.
Yeah, next year's team Pro Tour is in March. That's correct.
Will it have all 3 sets?
No, it will only have 2 sets.
Ugh.
The qualifier season will have all 3 sets.
Ugh.
Only 2 sets.
Only 2 sets.
I don't like team draft, but only 2 sets. Much more interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's something we'll look at afterwards. It turned out the way the schedule worked that it was just the obvious place to put it. For questions about how these teams drafted these decks, you'll be able to watch the archives of these drafts. It's Team Rochester drafts. It's a great format, and watching those archives should be pretty fun. They'll be up sometime later this week. There was also a question about whether the blog was getting updated today. I had lunch with Brian David Marshall and been having a lot of fun with the blog this weekend, but basically the decision was the blog today is this. We're the blog.
Oh, excellent.
We are the coverage. So
We are the blog. You will be assimilated.
There's been a nice joke. Oh,
You've never been a blog before? Have you been assimilated?
nothing like the Star Trek references. Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Stand together.
So the mirror, Okamoto served with the War Wagon. It got blocked by the mirror, and then Camille has stand together. So he's going to trade with the War Wagon, and he makes his other guy +2/+2 as
They
well.
grew a pair.
Yep.
That was actually the playtest.
That was
I
the
didn't just
playtest
make
for the
that
card.
joke.
They grew a pair.
Yes, grow a pair.
There was
Grow a pair.
Yeah.
Nice. Why couldn't you keep that name? Stand together. It's just like such a friendly name. Stand together.
Wow. So Camille Cornelissen, Okamoto was in great shape a little while ago. All of a sudden, Miragolem gets arrested. Stand Together destroys the War Wagon. There was what was his other creature?
That's
Serrated arrows or wizard.
Right, serrated arrows for the wizard replica.
Or infused arrows. I apologize. Jin's creature base is pretty good. Crackland Ogre and Goblin War.
I mean, who actually has both of those?
That's lucky.
He can actually sack a War Wagon with that. It's the best use of War Wagon. He actually can. The Ogre's
Jin
ability
down
could be
to
relevant.
3 now.
His ability could be relevant if he has like a chump blocker for that.
Camille had no other play.
He only has grab the reins, I'm sure.
Grab the reins.
I don't think he probably just.
He's rolling it slow.
The slow roll would be very mean, especially if someone that's.
There's Yago Riegersma staring on at his teammates, watching. Anxious.
Nassif slow rolled Zvi for like 3 turns when he had Death Bomb and used it too.
Oh, that's nice.
He just sat the Team Pro Tour semifinals. He just sat there with Death Bomb and didn't
Camille
kill
doesn't
him.
look confident. He looks.
Yeah, I mean,
Yelger doesn't accept failure well.
Yelger up in the catwalk, looking over his teammate's shoulder.
All weekend he's won first and then just watches. His
Is that
teammates.
right?
Yes.
I didn't think Remy was a particularly slow player.
No, they're not slow. Just Yelger's so good that he always finishes quick.
All right.
And generally he plays the more aggressive deck, the white deck. So.
Pacing the catwalk now, wandering around behind everybody. Accepting some congratulations. He's done his job. Von Dutch is up a match.
I don't know how he can watch this. I would just walk away. Wait for it to be over. Too nerve-wracking. And God forbid your teammate makes a mistake. You don't want to see that.
We invited him back here. We were going to kick you out for him.
No way.
He wants to watch.
It's even worse than making a mistake when your teammates are watching.
Oh, that is pretty bad. Shrapnel blast. Oh, no. That would be game, correct?
Grab the ring.
Would be game.
Condescend. He had it.
Wow.
He had it the whole time.
Is that enough? Presumably.
That's probably why he didn't attack.
Yeah.
It's exactly enough.
Wow. That was masterful on Jin's part.
Yeah, both parts.
Both parts.
Jin went for the shrapnel blast before the attack phase. They're very good players.
They're sheer masters.
Okamoto went for the shrapnel blast before the attack phase because if it got countered, he knew he was going to need a blocker. Both cards were put on the bottom by Cornelissen. So. Is that game?
No. He
sacrificed the Miragolem, of course. So.
It probably is game, though, if he has a chump block here.
Well, you never know.
Does Jin have a way to do
ferocious
6?
charge?
All right.
I don't know if his deck is ferocious.
Camille smashes
if he had
over.
ferocious charge, he'd
He
kill
would have
him.
won, yeah.
So, a baton.
Oh, Baton of Courage. Is that enough?
Not enough to... It's
enough to trade.
kill.
It's enough to trade.
He didn't cast it last turn because obviously there's no reason to.
Yeah, he was one short of killing him this turn.
Wow. 3-6, and there are no creatures left in play. Just a couple of used up Sunburst cards.
I hope Camille doesn't play hard. Oh, Oh,
Says
nothing.
go. Camille says go.
After scrying.
He scryed, put them both on the bottom, drew a card, still nothing.
He just has grab the range.
They're just playing off the top now. It is pure top deck mode. Quite a game.
It is, absolutely.
I don't think he only has one red mountain in play.
One red mountain?
One mountain.
Perhaps a blue mountain.
But even if he does have grab the rings, all he can do is
He has to have a 3-power creature as well.
Oh.
What is that?
That's Tornado Elemental.
Tornado Elemental, wow.
That will win the game. Next
Giant
turn.
man.
Now he needs Grab the Ring or
Oblivion Stone.
Oblivion Stone if he has enough mana to cast it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, there's Magma Jet.
Jet U upkeep? Is that
upkeep or where is this? Timing. Justin?
I would imagine it'd be end of turn.
Oh, he's putting both on the bottom. That's not good.
Both on the bottom.
All right,
Taps.
let's see. Yes or no?
Draws a card.
Slam it down to me if you have it. No, he doesn't have it.
It doesn't look good.
I imagine he would just pick up his card.
I would have just scooped it.
Could be a chump blocker.
But no, Tornado Elemental could just do the damage to your opponent.
Oh, right.
Oh, well.
What is that?
It's Tango Golem. He's just hoping.
Oh, Tango Golem.
Is it Tornado 5/5?
It's a 5/4.
Okay, so he's a
Tornado
he goes
Golem
to
is how
one.
big?
No, it's like Thorn Elemental. He can
Yeah, but how big is it?
Yeah, but he can't kill Camille. Camille's
It's
6.
Isn't it 6 power?
I thought it was 6 power. Yeah, I think it's a 6.
I thought it was 6
I think
power.
Camille's just doing a quick check. Do you understand how the rules work? All Jin has to do is attack with his 6 power guy. He's looking.
Yeah.
He's smiling. He's like, Judge?
Jin gets very nervous. When
He's like,
how does this work?
He's like, Judge, he's dead, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
you just want to be sure. It was a good ask.
I don't know the version. He is 6 power? Really?
I believe so. He does 6 damage to all flowers.
I thought it was.
Yeah, definitely 6 power. Jin attacks.
Blocks. Maybe he won't
No
use
blocks.
the ability. Cross your fingers.
Is he going to use the ability?
Yeah. He points to him.
Camille just shrugs.
He's like, okay.
Yep. Jin Okamoto, ladies and gentlemen, wins game 1.
Jin is so funny.
Wow.
All right, now we're going to move back to the match between Jérôme Remy and Itaru Ishida. By the way, I was talking to Justin was whispering in my ear right before that game. It turns out Okamoto set that up the whole way. So Okamoto had the Tornado Elemental in his hand the whole time. He shrapnel blasted to bait the Condescend to get through the Tornado Elemental.
Well, I mean, either way, he wins.
I guess he wins
right?
either way. It's not much of a bait. It's still nice that he was sort of trying to play around Condescend and doing what he could.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the best play, though, because he couldn't get through 6 damage the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you went for the Elemental first.
Well, I mean, with the Elemental first, he has Condescend. He's going to lose.
Yeah, he loses.
I mean, he has a trouble.
So, quick update on where things are right now. Von Dutch is up a match. It's best 2 matches out of 3, so Shop Fireball needs to win both of these matches if they want to win the
They're
Pro
up a
Tour.
game in each.
But exactly, they are up a game in each of them, so still very possible. Itaru Ishida up a game, and they're off. He and Jérôme Remy are ready for game number 2. Remy leads with a mountain and says go.
Remy should win this match, but last game, Master Miller just didn't win. And Mere Quad.
I mean, big quad is not the deal.
Double mountain.
I mean, he 4 quad 4. It's hard to beat quads. Let me tell you, there isn't much that does it.
What do you think here? You think Drone has a swamp, or maybe he has Octagol?
I mean, Oxygol
Trying to get lucky.
Alpha Mirror attacks.
Not Oxygol.
Chips away 2 damage.
Oh.
Mountain number 3. And a brawler.
Getting in the fight. Passes the turn. This is the way that Jeroen wants these games to go. He wants to go guy. I mean,
although if Quadrupod does come down next turn,
yeah, Quadrupod is really good against this deck.
Blankers? Yeah.
Yep, there's Blankers.
Yeah,
Flying into a swamp.
This game, nobody going much better.
Would have done 2 more damage.
Big
Big quads.
The All-Star. He needs a bolt here or something.
He actually could. I think they could have hated that Quadrupod for
really
for a card that wasn't actually or taken the Quadrupod for one of their own.
Remy
decks, for a card that wasn't
smashes.
really all that.
Interesting. So Itaru chooses to block the blind creeper, not the alpha. And Echoing Decay, -2/-2. So he was...
Oh!
The
wow.
scale.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
That's cute.
That was huge.
So now Drone actually can't play a spell this turn. Otherwise
Right, if he plays his spell, he loses his
That
Blind
was
Creeper.
huge.
And meanwhile, the Quadrupod is going to survive. So Itaru does take 4. Unfortunately, yeah, it's not dead yet, is it?
I thought it was a...
Did they stack damage?
He cast.
Oh, he stacked damage.
Oh, he
first.
stacked damage. Okay, he stacked damage first.
He must have stacked damage, right? Because it's only 2 spells.
I don't know why you... Yeah, okay,
power.
there we go. Yeah, because why would you
okay.
stack damage first?
No reason.
No damage. Minus 2, minus 1, minus 1, 2.
Yeah, so Blind Creeper survives and Remy passes the turn. Okay, that makes more sense.
Actually, that is actually a mistake. He probably should have just stacked damage first.
Why? So his Creeper would be dead
I mean,
here?
he could at least kill the Quadrupod, though. He would have done 3 damage to it. And then he would have indicated. So even if you can play around scale.
I mean, if you're playing around scale, you don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're in a position where you can play around scale. You have to get the damage. You have to attack.
But why not just put damage on the stack?
Mm-hmm.
Because you obviously have to attack this turn.
That's true. He does have to.
If he has
have to get rid of
if he has
Quadrupod.
scale, at least you kill it.
Yeah, he does have to get rid of Quadrupod.
Meanwhile, Itaru Ishida has made a nuisance engine. Puts a pest token into play.
Wow, that card's a real nuisance.
Hey.
EDT is in the form of saying, "I'm not homeless." That's awesome.
This matchup seems much worse for Ireland than it probably should be.
I mean, that Quadrupod has been ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's actually.
I mean, it's not bad. I mean,
Yeah, no, Quadrupod's really good. Like, I mean, against a deck like your own.
against a really aggressive deck.
I mean, it's
It holds the ground and then
a 4 toughness, 4 casting cost creature. I mean, we're talking
if you
about
needed to, you can trade with a 4 toughness creature later in the game.
yeah. I mean, or it can just do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Remy just keeps attacking, and Okamoto keeps blocking with the Quadrupod and a pest token. Not a whole
Big
lot going
jug.
on. Now there's Juggernaut. So Remy's building his board while Ishida spends a lot of mana making pests.
I mean, he's not taking any damage though.
Yeah, it's true. He's not taking any damage. And Remy sort of has to attack or else a bunch of pests get accumulated. What's that? Essence Drain on Juggernaut.
Well,
Ishida dispatches with Remy's biggest creature.
big jug going down.
not that bad. At least you can't make a pest token this turn.
Right. This is up 5 mana. At least the hover guard on defense.
He can't.
Well, he can pump it with scale.
Yeah, he can pump with scale.
Oh,
so.
sure. That makes sense. Yeah, you can beat up a brawler. Nagu81 making fun of your LARP character. Half tiger, half human. Is this true?
Oh, I do play a tiger in a LARP. My character is indeed a tiger. I actually once, because in the game, I have like tiger makeup. I actually once had a reaction to the makeup that I had a rash in the shape of tiger stripes all over my face. I'm not even kidding. It was really embarrassing for a while.
And that was my senior prom.
Remy serves with a cranial-plated Blind Creeper. Ishida trades a 2/2.
That plate is not so exciting.
Well, it makes the
He needs another.
It makes all the creatures.
He needs another
lethal.
swamp, and then it's awesome. But
Oh yeah, but he can't move it right now.
right now it's just forcing the block on nuisance. The nuisance you're going to block that creature. It's pretty good on
Wizards have to
a
go from
brawler
here.
if he could be equipped, but he can't. That's first strike. But I want to wear the hat. I want to wear the hat. No, you can't.
Clockwork Condor.
That's a large fellow. A clockwork condor. Big game.
Who's winning this game? I can't tell.
I don't know. I mean, it's
If the
fairly
blue-black deck,
stalemate.
if the blue black
Yeah,
deck has
if
this
he's-
much life, pretty late in the game, it's hard to see the black red deck being pushed.
I mean, the nuisance engine and the quadrupod is a pretty significant board that makes it really difficult for your own to get through damage.
What a bigger near quadrupod would be the closest. Randy, do you regret making your quadrupod now that you see how big it is?
There's Opaline bracers from Itaru Ishida. Is that 3 counters?
3
yes.
counters. That's a big bracer.
It's a big flyer. Wizard replica. But he left it on defense?
So if you scale a quad and then switch it, it's a 5-1. But if you switch it and then scale it, it's a 4-2, right?
I believe so.
Because it doesn't have the effects that affect this thing and the other thing. And
we tried reprinting that card. What was that card for? It was Alliances, right? The little flippy guy from Ice Age?
Oh, it was Alliances. It was Scott Johns had him in his Necro deck at Nationals in like the last true American hero one, Dennis Bentley.
What was that guy called?
I'm trying to remember. Phantom something Phantom? I don't know.
I just called him Flippy.
He cost like a blue and one to flip, right?
Yeah, it was a black guy. Like 3-1, 4-1 for... No, this is back before you discovered Magic. I remember we were trying to reprint that guy. It was we did a Finkel Garfield box set that was Ice Alliance. We ended up having to ban that card because we couldn't fit the actual rules text for it onto a card any longer. So no more of this. The effect that affected until end of turn. None of that. Meanwhile, Justin has an update from the other match down on the floor. Let's turn up the spotter mic. What's up, Justin?
Yeah, Randy, Jin Okamoto has missed some land drops and has been discarding for 2 turns.
Ooh.
He's been getting beaten down by a Outrider, and this time the Arcbound Wanderer came down as a 4/4.
Wow.
He's still on 3 mountains and hasn't been looking great.
Looks like Camille's going to even that up at a game apiece.
I'd be shocked if it didn't come out that way.
Wow. So another mana screw. Akeda had a mana screw game lost to Vigersma. So.
Wow.
Speaking of the Finkel versus Garfield match, I thought it was just absolutely hilarious that the actual match came down to Richard getting mana screw. It seemed so appropriate that Richard just sat there discarding.
This is after the part where Finkel explains the rules.
Yeah,
right?
after Finkel explains how trample and first strike work. It was that match was hilarious.
Slith Firewalker comes down for Remy.
John actually said during the match that it was the only time he'd ever played on stage that he felt bad his opponent was mana screwed. The mastermind can be quite the problem.
That was a really interesting moment during the draft, and that came all the way back around to Ishida. What was the claim? The Dutch claimed that this matchup was so fast and Misak was so aggressive that Mastermind would not have time to matter.
They didn't take Quadrupod into account.
We'll see.
But Quadrupod's dead now.
I mean, we never really respected that card very much.
All right, Mastermind blocks the...
Or Quadrupod.
Mastermind.
Oh, Okamoto actually making a comeback on the back table.
Echoing Truth.
Oh, Echoing Truth, the plating.
That's big.
That's really good.
That's huge.
So Okamoto's got the Mastermind in front of the Slip Firewalker. He wins that fight.
I think your own's crying.
The Brawler will get through for 2, but losing
everything
that
else
Condor,
dies.
not good for... Well, the mirror doesn't die. It bounces off a pest token.
He just lost his entire board to an Echoing Truth.
Wow.
Nice board.
Wow.
That was huge.
Replays the plating.
Yep.
Not looking great for Jérôme Remy.
Now Mastermind is active. Yeah, this game is slipping away quickly.
Yep. Now Ishida's on the offense.
By that I mean
he could even bounce the Wizard
probably
recast if he wants. Yeah,
is that a hybrid?
Creature.
Yeah, this
Arcbound hybrid.
I can't think of. I mean, your own has no cards.
Unbelievable.
I can't imagine him winning this game.
Itaru Ishida, ladies and gentlemen. He has played some amazing Magic all weekend. He's called the shots during the draft. He made some great picks during the draft where he just saw how the packs were going to play out 6 picks down the road.
Big quads.
They get rewarded.
A lot of people think he's the best Team Rochester drafter in the world.
Is that true? I mean, he might be.
It's arguable.
I mean, he's very good.
He has two,
very good.
2 Masters Finals appearances with Panzerhaus. And then, I mean, this performance is just...
I mean, I haven't heard people say that before, but you could definitely make a case for it at this point. He's just been spectacular.
I have a lot of respect for him.
7.
I can't imagine.
Remy is
When you have a
8 to 11
Amir on defense in black-red.
I mean, he's facing down Opaline, Bracers, and Mastermind with Amir and a Brawler. And this game is over.
Phantasmal Fiend? Is that the guy?
That's right, yeah. Phantasmal Fiend.
Meanwhile, oh, by the way, there's some giant men attacking.
I said Phantom something. I was close.
Look how dejected Throne looks.
Yeah.
Right
All right. My mirror with a plating can make you move your arcbound counters onto your flyer. Great.
At this point, you just start looking at Camille's match and hoping for the best.
I mean, that's actually their draft strategy is Camille wins. Is the strategy. That he just wins. Actually, they were. Jeroen was asking me during lunch if I had any ideas for the right hand seat, because he said that their black red deck almost never wins.
Yeah. We had the same strategy and the same thing. I was in Jeroen's seat, and it's really difficult sometimes. But your teammates always win, so it really doesn't matter.
I mean, if you have such sheer masters as Pat Sullivan in your team, I can't imagine losing.
Yeah, you know. Wait a second.
I mean, nothing against Pat.
Yeah.
But I mean, 14-year-olds, you know, they don't really have
they don't really have a grasp on the game.
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
Although if you ever do win in this seat, you're guaranteed victory, which is a good thing.
So there's the Isochron scepter.
It's too late.
He asked for me.
What did he put in it?
Nothing yet. He's asking if he will respond
to
the ability spec, I'm sure. Oh, and that's it.
There it is. Itaru Ishida wins. We're all tied. 1 match to 1 match. Ishida has defeated Remy. That was the matchup that... wow. Ishida drafted great, called all the shots, won that match, and now it all comes down to Camille Cornelissen and Jin Okamoto. And Okamoto's up a game, but he's been mana screwed in game 2. So we'll get our cameras back there. It looks like he stabilized. He came out of it. Hey, Justin, you were telling me how he came out of it, right? What was it that got Okamoto back into this game?
Hey, Justin.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Justin, we can hear you.
Yeah.
How did Okamoto get back in this game?
Well, he was able to electrostatic bolt the Outrider that was bashing him, and then he echoing around the Arcbound Wanderer, and Camille hasn't put any other pressure on him. So now he's been able to take the offensive, although he's still staring down at Camille's Oblivion Stone.
Oh, Camille has Oblivion Stone in play.
Yeah.
Neat. All right. Now that'll make you stare. That'll make you scratch your chin and wonder what's up. So what are the life totals?
Look at the tiger. Look, it's just staring Camille down.
Oh.
The tiger is just. I mean, could you play against that tiger? It's a tiger.
Camille's side.
Oh.
No, not the tiger.
A Narok Prodigy. Not a tiger.
With fate token.
If it were creature type tiger, it would be much better.
And Camille blows his disc. So looks like a Brawler, a Wizard Replica, and was that a Stoker maybe? 3 creatures die on Okamoto's side, and the Prodigy survived. It had a fate counter on it.
Camille actually has 8 lands to 3.
Well, when you have a Mana Screw versus Mana Flood match, it's actually
once the Mana Screw deck once the Mana Screw draws out of the screw,
he's just got so many spells.
Yeah.
Right, the other guy starts drawing into land, and you just up so many spells. Be interesting. We might have that scenario. Only 1 color on Okamoto's side. Those are all red lands.
How many?
2.
It seems like Jin just drew Tornado Elemental. He's only got 3 lands in play.
None of which are forests.
I mean, if it was me, that would definitely be what I'd draw.
Marshall Ashford wants to know what our position is for changing the official name of Healer's Headdress to Pretty Hat.
I mean, cranial plating is a prettier hat. But I mean,
cranial plating is a prettier hat? It's a more powerful hat, but is it pretty?
So we seem to be offending our younger viewers. That which squeaks is complaining that he's 14 and has quite a good grasp of the game. We're actually just making
Did we
fun of
insult
Pat Sell.
14-year-olds? Oh, no, yeah, we're insulting 14-year-olds.
To all the 14-year-olds
Pat
out
Sell.
there, to all the 14-year-olds out there, do not be insulted. We are just making fun of Patrick Sells.
I mean, Ben Rubin made 2 Pro Tour finals when he was 15.
That's true.
Now he drafts Urgold's eyes. I'm not kidding. He actually beat me in a draft yesterday with Avarice Totem because of his Urgold's eye.
You know what? Avarice Totem's not that bad. I actually have a lot more respect for it now than I did before the Cobra started.
Because of Urgold's eye?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you get 10 mana, which Urgold's eye helps you do,
It's awesome.
it's impossible here to come out.
Yes.
If you're ahead and you have 10 lands or 8 Urgold's eye. Perhaps Engine.
Yes.
I'm going to start drafting Avarice.
So,
And Urgold's eye.
setting the scene once again, Von Dutch has won a match.
And Oblivion.
Von Dutch has won a match. Shop Fireball has won a match. Jin Okamoto is up a game here, so Camille Cornelissen, probably the most respected player on this team. I mean, it's a great team, but he's probably the guy with the best resume.
Yelger.
Yelger?
Yeah, he's definitely most respected.
All right.
Camille's
got the best resume. He's the one with 3 top 8s and 2 second places, but
I mean, I think among pros, Yelger's probably the most respected.
fair enough.
I mean, because Camille.
These guys say though that
he's crazy.
Camille never loses.
I mean, I think Camille.
Camille never loses except for the time when he goes 7-0-0-7. And then he loses 7 times in a row.
Sharon Ramiz up on the catwalk, staring over,
Shaking his head.
Yeah.
Can't believe he lost. Cannot believe it.
It's not a happy look.
I mean, he's drawing. Did he just play nothing but land for the past million turns?
I mean,
Angle Spider.
Land
Angle
Flood.
Spider threatening to munch on a Neurok Prodigy.
He needs the condescending.
Or grab.
Grab.
He could actually use another forest. He doesn't have enough to use more land.
Wow. Angle Spider resolves. Prodigy.
Oh, not even another
Wow.
artifact.
Wow.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
There's no worse feeling than not being able to capitalize on your opponent's mana screen.
Yeah, it's whenever mana flooded against someone's mana screen, I sit there and like,
well, there's Glissa.
Gotta be kidding me.
That's not a bad one.
Well, I mean, Jin does have double electrostatic bolt in his deck, and
he already cast
drawing many cards.
Yeah. He
Shrapnel too. I mean,
this is crazy.
3-4.
Yeah, this is.
Remember back when the Japanese had never actually won anything? And here we all of a sudden they may win their 2nd Pro Tour of the year. They only sent 5 teams here. They got 2 through to the final day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm so glad too. I really want more Japanese players in Pro Tour because they're like the nicest people to play against.
They're really great guys.
Yeah, all the Japanese pros are just. They're great players and just tons of fun to play against.
And whenever you're sitting down and you have to roll to see who goes first, you never have to worry about not having to die.
That's true.
So we have to put Jin on a pump spell right here. And if he does have one, I guess Camille probably won't block here.
There's Jerome and Jelger looking on.
Walk away, guys.
Oh, there's the Japanese players next to them cheering for their boys. You wouldn't watch?
I wouldn't watch, no. I mean, especially when my teammates just flooded.
Glissa steps in front of, that's Thermal Navigator?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, even if he doesn't have a pump spell, there's no reason not to attack, really. If this one is going to die next turn.
Right, that makes sense. It's a pretty fitting championship match if you think about it. I mean, the Dutch versus the Japanese.
Absolutely.
These are the powerhouses in Magic right now. I mean, the French have a lot of good players too. Still some good players in Germany, but I mean, the European team versus the Japanese.
Good players in Germany.
How the mighty have fallen. They still have Marco Bloom.
What is that? Is that the
Echoing Courage?
Echoing Courage.
There it is.
Wow.
That would be really devastating if you just let that resolve and nothing happens.
Oh, Glissa to the graveyard.
Well, I mean, Thermal Navigator is better than Glissa right now.
Nelson falls to 12.
Oblivion Stone. He needs grab. He really
his Oblivion Stone is gone. His Glissa is gone.
He could Cumulux.
I mean,
so much power in Camille's deck, but
he just has nothing but land here. I mean,
I mean, that's the problem of the green deck in drafting. That's why we always wanted to go green-blue, so you can get thought couriers and mill away some of that land.
Yeah.
Because it always gets land flooded, because you need to play a lot of land.
You need to play a lot of mana.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, but I mean, the deck can be really good or really bad sometimes.
Yes. Flat Matt has called me out. Phantasmal Fiend did wind up in that Garfield Finkel deck.
Really?
Thank you, Flat Matt.
I think I'm just remembering hours and hours of templating meetings, figuring out how on earth it would work. But they came up with a solution. I thought they were going to ban it. They were threatening to ban it.
Another fiend.
It's definitely the case that powers that affect power until end of turn, not a mechanic we're going to do.
Powers that affect power.
Effects that affect power and toughness affect the reverse until end of turn.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, otherwise you wouldn't make giant.
I mean, our rules manager will not let those through.
Is this?
So Camille plays.
Grab the reins.
Steals the Tangle Spider.
Hello.
This could have been a little better.
Smashes it with Thermal Navigator.
So long, Tangle Spider and Thermal Navigator.
It's a 2-for-1, but he's still behind on board position.
Yeah, I mean, he's
It's not really a 2-for-1 because you're killing a Thermal Navigator and a Tangle Spider.
You're at 7 and being attacked.
I mean, that
that
Tangle Spider killed his Neurotic Prodigy, and that Thermal Navigator killed his Glissa.
I know. Look,
So this is revenge.
Yeah.
This is just revenge.
What a master. How can you make those cards look so good?
Yeah, Jin was saying he felt he had the advantage going into the match.
Yeah, everyone. Camille's deck was insane,
Here he
but
has
Jin thought.
Thermal Navigator.
So you said what was your line
winning.
at the beginning? Oh, it was Justin who was saying at the beginning.
That if it was an American pro, he would have just taken it for bluster. But here we have Thermal Navigators beating down the Glissa Grab Stone deck, all of which have been cast this game.
Yes. I believe Justin's comment was, if Jin really can pull that off, he'll be my personal hero.
Start making your shrine.
You think?
Well, I'm not exactly sure.
Jin gonna pull this out? This is the matchup that was supposed to be the lopsided one, right?
Absolutely. I mean, any deck can lose when it draws too much land. And last game was just crazy.
It's not just land. I mean, Okamoto's just found really creative ways to use all of his cards. He's not super creative, but I mean, he's played everything flawlessly.
He's trying to figure something out.
Does he have a trick? I mean, if this grab doesn't 2-for-1 him,
he can if he has Shrapnel Blast, he can Shrapnel Blast.
I'm looking at Camille's deck. Camille only has 11 creatures.
Does he really?
I'm not surprised he's losing this at all.
He only has 11 creatures?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of them aren't even very good. I'm counting like Silvermere in there and like
that actually
Mirror Retriever.
Especially not.
Like he doesn't have a lot of threats and pressure. I mean, which isn't surprising because like the Sunburst deck, sometimes you're just taking all these good spells and you don't realize until late in the pack, whoa, I don't have any creatures, I don't have any threats, you know?
That's something that you really have to pay attention to.
I mean, yeah, and so if Jen caught that while he was drafting, I mean, I'd be confident.
That does make a lot of sense.
Justin, can you tell down there what they're asking about? What's Jin's question with the grab range?
I gotta wait for the translator.
Can I ask about if the second target becomes...
Oh, I think he's probably wondering if he can sacrifice a creature.
Do you administer that option?
I mean, he has options here.
It's still going to resolve as much as it can, even if the second target becomes illegal. So
he just gains control of
Maybe
Tackle
Shrapnel
Spider.
Blast? Yeah.
No, yep, there's Shrapnel Blast.
So he'll just gain control of Tackle Spider.
That's 5 to the
and
nugget.
And then he can't sack Tangle Spider.
That puts...
So I think that's the game.
That looks like the game.
Why is Tangle Spider dead? Oh, he sacrificed... No. Why is Tangle Spider dead? I'm confused.
He still sacrifices it and deals the damage versus no target.
Really?
I think the effect fizzles.
Yeah, the effect
fizzles, but it still does as much as it can.
It's still
Cornelson's at 2, facing down Thermal Navigator. That Shrapnel Blast might make the other Thermal Navigator lethal. Is this the game? Are we sending the Team Pro Tour $60,000 first prize to Japan?
I mean... No.
That's embarrassing.
Oh, arrest
That's
Thermal Navigator.
Embarrassing.
Like, you can't be surprised that he's not drawing cards here, creatures here, because if you only have 11 and you have cards like Stand Together in your deck, you're going to get some awkward draws.
Yeah, that's I can't believe he only has 11 then.
That's a lot of mana.
God.
Mirror Golem.
Oh, Mirror Golem. There we go.
Oh, and he's got the Condescend.
All right.
Now this is still
good.
a game.
Yeah, because
now he gets to scry.
Get some creatures, get something going. I mean, even a Sawtooth Thresher would be good here.
A Sawtooth Thresher would be amazing.
Yeah.
Even a Sawtooth Thresher.
Even a Sawtooth Thresher.
Sawtooth Thresher's awesome for Camille. Imagine if he drew a Lunar Avenger. Dear me.
I mean, I probably would have played Spinal Parasite at this rate.
If I were Camille, I'd call a judge and tell him that that Thermal Navigator should be untapped.
It's 2 to 8.
Yagatog's post in the forums. Props to Platty for giving Von Dutch their team name and stunning attire. The Tiger may impress Kibler, but felines don't grab me the same way. Just hopes Von Dutch's superior fashion sense gives Camille the edge in this last match.
It looks like it's a close one. It's a close one between the Tiger or the and Von Dutch, but you know, deciding his scrying.
Yep. Studies Okamoto's graveyard line. Camille with scry. I figured I had time to hit the forms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so he keeps one on top.
Keeps one on top, one on the bottom.
Feature.
All right. Camille untaps, draws.
Surprised at what he drew.
How lucky.
There we go.
It is a salty pressure.
Woo!
Ospin and I just exchanged a high five. That guy's lethal in one attack, right?
Yeah. I believe he's max. 4
No,
counters.
he's 4.
That's still enough.
He's 9 for
Yeah,
one
it's
attack.
9.
Now can Okamoto top deck to save himself?
When you
Camille
scry, it's
had a
not
couple.
really top decking.
Well, no, I meant the arrest and the
Yeah.
condescend.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were. And
Well,
the grab, like the grab was clearly off the top.
Yeah. Though the arrest and condescend, I mean, it makes sense to just keep it in your hand.
Sure.
Although the condescend he probably drew after he attacked the direct rush.
What do you got, Jin? Can you deal with the giant sawtooth thresher?
This is a really interesting move.
And if Corneliuson does win this, that just forces game 3.
Yeah, he's got to win another game.
You start to see the stress in his face a little bit.
Rosy cheeks.
Yeah, he's got the red cheeks going.
Look at him. He's just sitting there.
He
He
just-
never shows
those-
any expression. He just shrugs.
No, look at the adrenaline in his cheeks. Those are the rosy cheeks that would say you've been playing Magic on stage under the lights, and the adrenaline's been coursing for a while.
He's actually just wearing gloves.
Yes. I mean, his fashion sense here. You know.
Yeah.
He could, yeah.
If it was Yelger, I'd say he's probably just drunk.
Yeah.
But it's Camille. So.
When they were staying with us in New Jersey, they were actually surprised that you can't order beer for breakfast at restaurants.
Here they are, Yelger on the left,
Teammates
Zero on the right.
discussing the
A
situation.
little happier than they were a couple turns ago.
I can imagine so.
2 great friends forced to share a sleeping bag for at least one day because there was no bed, but they managed to stick it through.
The Seattle Mariners note from their own there, trying to counteract the Ichiro combat thing. I mean, the Japanese have had a lot of success in Seattle the last couple of years. That's our last All-Star. It's the only All-Star the Mariners got this year. He won 116 games 2 years ago.
You can ask me who the top 8 was in the Pro Tour in '97, but you can't. I can't
no idea about
possibly
baseball?
comprehend a baseball set. I
right.
follow no sports.
I could watch Camille Corneliuson play a match against Dave Humphreys, control mirror, before he can get me to watch a baseball game.
I mean, I did watch the Fuller Humphrey Psychotog Mirror Masters Finals on no sleep.
That was a rough one. All right, Okamoto does apparently have a
fell
spell.
asleep during turns.
Okamoto's tapping some mana. Apparently he has something. And he needs something because that's a potentially lethal attack staring across at him. He's got
He
Rebuking Ceremony.
rebukes his own guy.
Wow.
And his own guy, right? Yes. Nice.
That delays the inevitable.
Well, no, that's a Mirror Golem. Or is that Navigator?
It's Navigator.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Forgot.
A little less impressive. Although, if he has, I don't really know.
So, yep.
All this makes us
Yeah.
Pressure comes back.
Now we have to watch a chump block. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
Draws the Navigator, plays
Check
that.
this out.
I mean, he bought himself a draw
yeah,
phase.
I mean, he gets
Totally
draw
the right
phase.
play. Oh, he could have actually sacked Navigator as a
To
response
itself?
and gotten gotten the
That
draw
doesn't
phase
say
right
that.
away.
Mhm.
No,
Is that good?
It gives Camille one less draw phase.
It gives Camille one less draw. Oh, infused arrows. Is that the game? Yes. That's the game. Camille Cornelissen back against the wall.
Much tighter than a -2 game usually is.
Wow. One game will determine the Pro Tour Seattle champion. Whew. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Back to the question we had.
So who do you like in this last game?
Now that I know that Camille has 11 creatures in his deck, I'm not sure. I mean,
it looks like Jin's deck's pretty good too. He's got a lot of removal. He's got they're not good creatures, but they're at least they're creatures, you know. He's got
he has creatures.
Looks like he's got a decent curve. I mean, you just put guys out there. There's only so many recipes. So, I mean, I think Jin's deck just puts Camille in the position where he needs his bombs, he needs his Oblivion Stones, he needs his grab areas. Otherwise, I don't think he can win.
Jin has a Savage meeting?
Yeah, those of you out there on the internet, by the way, you may want to call your friends up and tell them to tune in because this is going to be a nice game here. This is going to be one that's going to be talked about for years, I think. Sort of giant Game 3, Match 3, Pro Tour title on the line. Should be a fun one.
And you can also see Jin Okamoto's fashionable shirt that Brian has just purchased online.
I wish.
You can see this shirt all the time. He wears it every time he makes it to Sunday. We're going to see, 3-4 times
that
next
shirt.
Year. Oh, yeah?
Post where you can find it to the forum. And you'll be my personal hero.
I don't know. I think Jin is the favorite here.
Yeah?
I mean,
Through the fashion sense?
Yeah, through the fashion sense. Plus, Camille's got bombs, but I think Jin's deck puts him in a position where he needs to have those bombs. And anytime you're in that position, it's not a good position to be in.
Although he also has a mere quadrupod in his sideboard.
Oh, well, you know, he's not Japanese, and that's a mistake.
No, Jin has a quadrupod.
Oh, Jin? Oh, well then.
I mean, he could have a quadrupod too, which would make the matchup even more lopsided. Can I see where's Camille's list? There we go.
So Justin, what's it like down there on the floor? Are the players tense? Are they talking? Are they nervous? What's the sense you get down there?
The players have not said a word.
Really?
At all during
Shocking.
this. They seem very intent on what they're doing. Maybe Jin might be thinking about sideboarding here, which in general you consider means someone's made a mistake somewhere, and since you know your opponent's deck before you start playing. But pretty much quiet, intense. They know there's a lot on the line here, and you can see the pressure in their faces.
Fair enough. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, this isn't a match that promises to be particularly chatty. Neither of these two.
I'm really surprised by that, though, because both are known for their conversational skills.
Yeah, both are notorious trash talkers.
Yes.
But I mean, right now they're reining themselves in. You know, they're being quite professional in the final.
They're both actually pretty good friends too. Surprisingly,
they go out drinking together all the time.
Well, no, I mean they call each other on the phone and they talk.
There actually has been a Dutch link to the Japanese
players.
Yeah, they've worked together and constructed.
Tashi Fujita actually built the Angry Hermit that Camille made happen, or I mean Bob Malkin made happen. They sold it.
Camille almost.
The angry.
He was defeated by Kyle Rose in the final round.
Yes.
To whom I sold a deck.
Well,
giving myself some props.
I'm surprised you were able to fit yourself into that conversation.
I mean, I fit myself in wherever I can.
How is that even
let's
possible?
Be realistic.
How are you so masterful that you can fit yourself into a conversation
sheer
about
master
Angry
of sales
Hermit?
promotion, www.brainburst.com.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable. Actually talking about Angry Hermit and Brian Kibler gets to talk about himself and his awesomeness.
By the way, me.
I am Brian Kibler.
I am Brian Kibler.
So let me ask you: are we?
Oh my God! Ivy Demonic says, "I have found the shirt."
Oh my God!
No way! Are you serious?
Oh, tiger shirt.
That is not the
so awesome.
That is a. Someone actually sent us a link of a bunch of tiger shirts.
Let's scroll down. I want that actual
talking tiger. Wow.
Hidden Gibbons. Do they have a Hidden Gibbons shirt? Wow. This is so awesome.
This is awesome.
Ivy Demonic. It has to be your personal hero.
You are my personal hero.
I Demonic.
It's IY.
IY Demonic. otherwise known as
You
Mrs.
rule.
Kibler.
And not in the, American Beauty midlife crisis sort of way.
I've got a question to all the JSS players out there watching. Is Brian Kibler the most popular Pro Tour player? Seriously, because at Nationals, whenever they announced Brian Kibler's name for a feature match, I actually saw kids go, yes, and they'd run to the feature match area. There's no doubt in my mind that Brian Kibler is definitely the most popular Pro Tour player. Behind Camille Cornelissen.
Actually, I think it's behind Josh Ravitz. Ravitz,
is he actually a Pro Tour player now?
I mean, he got 8th place in this tournament.
8th place
with the Max Fisher players. A team of millionaires and an old man.
Yeah. 2 millionaires and a 60-year-old, 14-year-old boy.
He was saying that the best part about teaming with Pakula and Igor was that he got all the rares from the practice draft.
Oof. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to roll some commercials, catch our breath. We'll be right back with championship match coverage.
See ya.
At Magic the Gathering's research facility, experts test combat strategies using subjects selected from the general public.
Jeez! Where do you get these kids? Play my card, you moron! I'm unblockable! What are you waiting for? An invitation?
Magic the Gathering, the trading card game.
You ready to feel the pain?
Dear Magic the Gathering, I'm returning your stupid goblin card. He's weak. Can't you make him less of a weenie? Signed, Jason Black.
Giant growth.
Magic the Gathering, the trading card game.
Well, Jason, what do you think?
That was the greatest thing I ever seen.
Those are fun.
For those of you who don't know, that was actually Mark Rosewater in the Goblin suit.
I think the Goblin might have been taller than Mark.
Yeah, well, he was on stilts.
How they doing, Justin?
Jin has just decided not to mulligan.
We're waiting for a mulligan decisions for Camille, which
choice.
could take about 6 weeks. So we'll be with you in a moment. I'm just absolutely flabbergasted every time I see those Magic commercials.
It feels so weird.
Are you serious? I mean,
what do you mean?
I don't know. They're pretty.
All right. Camille is keeping his
The
hand.
Poodle
so
Boy one? That one's a bit much.
We'll be right back with game number. There we go. We are back.
Here we go.
Camille Cornelissen on the right of your screen. Jin Okamoto on the left. Jin finished second at Worlds this last year. Camille has been in second place a couple of times
he has
in his career.
30,000 top 8.
One of them is finally going to win. They're finally going to win a Pro Tour. Which one? We'll find out after this game. Camille trying to bring Yelger Vigersma, Juro, and Remy along with him. Jin Okamoto has teammates Itaru Ishida and Tsuyoshi Ikeda pulling for him. Will it be Shop Fireball? Will it be Von Dutch? Will I ever stop setting up the game?
Randy actually wishes he worked for SportsCenter. He actually
No way. This got way more fun.
Why are you wearing a SportsCenter t-shirt?
So how many times have you seen Anchorman?
You had lots of time to see it yesterday, right? You had lots of time to see it yesterday.
I did. Snap! For those of you at home, that's in reference to Brian Kibler's failed attempt to make Day 2 of the Pro Tour with his teammates John Finkel and Homeless Man. Aaron.
The Odd Templar wants to know what we thought of the block with Glissa. We had a relatively healthy round. Totally.
I mean, it's not that bad of a block considering that you have to assume there's a chance that Jin is just attacking there because he figures the artifact creature is going to die next turn anyway. But I don't know, it's a little kind of a bad block. I might have just
I don't know, we were saying something. Randy opened the Tiger page.
Andrew Brown pointed out the Tiger page. You have multiple personal heroes.
Yes.
Andrew Brown found the same page.
I'm gonna have to make myself some fan sites for these people. So we have in the actual game that's being played, we have a Naruk transmuter, which is actually probably the largest creature in Camille's deck.
Yeah.
Everything else is
Pretty good creature, too.
yeah, he's actually quite good. He's particularly good against electrostatic builds. It's like, well, he doesn't have to protect.
Oh, what were you saying about Cyborg?
He brought in the quadrupod! He brought in the quadrupod!
Oh! How do you like that, Transmuter?
Big quad!
1/4 creature. Apparently, Jin felt that Mere Quadrupod didn't belong in the sideboard. It's way too good in this matchup.
I mean, it probably is, just because
it
does so much damage.
I don't know why you would bring in Mere Quadrupod. But what could be the reasoning when your opponent has, like, gigantic bombs, and you want to beat him down before he casts those bombs? What makes you say,
because it can deal
you know
4.
what? I really could use a 4-mana 1/4 right now.
It could deal 4.
Yeah, in theory,
What's going to block it? Nothing blocks it. He has no creatures.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. The more, if he sided it out for like a spell, I could see that. But if he took out like a Thermal Navigator, that's probably a mistake. I was wondering why his cheese is so rosy right now.
Oh, there's some fused arrows.
Fused arrows.
3.
That's actually...
That can take down the quadrupod.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you go for the mirror right now?
Yeah. I think you...
Yeah, that's right. Especially since they're...
I mean, you definitely don't go after the... Stinger.
Yeah, Stinger doesn't accomplish a whole lot.
It really could be what's going to make this match is the Mere Quadrupod.
I mean, it's certainly the most important card in the match.
It's going to break it wide open. You have no idea.
He out-sideboarded the
My best guess is it's going to get sacrificed to Shrapnel Blast at some point. And if it does that, then it serves its purpose.
That would be one of the best quadrupods ever. I mean, other than the one that Itaru had that actually locked the game. He played a quadrupod and it was over. How lucky is a team to get 2 quadrupods? I mean, I think that the Japanese certainly out-opened the Dutch with having 2 quadrupods.
The Dutch just,
I mean, you
really didn't give enough respect.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't compare cards like Glissa and Grab the Ring to a quadrupod. I mean, it's a quadrupod. Yeah. Look at the thing. It's a 1/4. It's too big to possibly do.
I like things that attack.
It's not unlike Jennifer Lopez. It has a gigantic butt.
That was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. I don't appreciate that.
The Atlanta nickname for Slagworm Armor is J-Lo Pants.
Is it really?
Yeah. Not unlike, like Heroes Resolve is Fat Pants.
Does she have a large screen?
So yes, a quadrupod.
Quadrupod.
Chilling.
Attack with quadrupod.
What are the players actually thinking about right now? Like, how is this game shaping up? What's important from here?
I think Jin Okamoto is actually thinking about Lindsay Lohan.
I mean, where did that come from?
If it was Josh Rabbit, he would have been thinking about.
Yeah, if it was Josh. Yeah. Well, frankly, if it was me, it would be, But I think in general, like if you play in the finals of a Pro Tour, you play a little slower. Make sure you don't make any mistakes.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm sure the play isn't that complicated. I mean, it's 4 lands in play and a Mere Quadrupod and an Archon Stinger.
He has a lot of options here. He can flip quadrupod.
You can flip it. I mean, there's always those options.
Get his trade on. I don't think you want to trade your turn and your quadrupod.
No.
For a turn.
You don't want to trade your best
I don't know why you're attacking.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe you're just hoping he won't block.
There's not, like, if he's going to cast a creature this turn that can block a 2/2, there's no reason not to attack. Because there's always a chance he just won't block.
Yeah.
You never know how valuable he feels his product.
You could get so much free damage against a lot of people who just refuse to block.
Yeah, people just... a lot of people are so scared of pump spells.
And
you know who's not? Mike Turian. Mike Turian is never afraid of pump spells. He's always just assumed they don't have it.
It's like block.
Oh, well, there you go. He traded with it, actually.
In 20?
I guess.
That was actually... Hey, I mean, if you can trade a Mere Quadrupod for Dark Prize, that's pretty good.
I mean,
Or a Nurgle.
If you can trade a transmuter for a quadrupod, you're thrilled. It's a quadrupod.
Transmuter Glissa would have been fun.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't.
That's why it's in his deck. I mean, other than it's also creature number 11.
Yeah.
It's apparently the 11th best creature.
It's actually his second best win condition.
It goes from Salty Thresher to that.
He's an old man.
To Silver Meal.
It looks like a nudge.
No. That thing's dying.
Sure.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Shrapnel Blast. Shrapnel Blast doesn't make it.
No creatures.
Yeah, I don't think he can use it.
He doesn't have any.
He's got a tree of tails.
Camille Cornelissen is 23 years old. He's a student in applied mathematics back in Shenda in the Netherlands.
Oh.
Ugh, that makes.
Glissa Transmuter.
That makes.
He actually had it. Maybe he just drew Glissa?
I mean,
maybe he didn't expect Jin to flip?
Yeah, I don't think you could expect Jin to flip it there. I mean,
but why would he attack them?
Just
you know, I think he's just hoping that he doesn't block, and you know.
Or Camille thought that Jin.
I think they both misread each other. I mean, I think Jin thought he would attack, and Camille knows how valuable the transmuter would be with Glissa, so he just wouldn't block and not risk it.
The Mirror Golem?
She's like an
It'll
artifact
get protection.
Right? She's like an artifact creature, so you can't arrow it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Jin Okamoto is 29 years old. He's a professional Magic player from Nagoya, Japan.
He's
29, yeah.
He
doesn't really look it.
He doesn't look a day over 20.
And Itaru Ishida is 24. Yeah, apparently he was like 16 back when he was first on the Pro Tour.
Wow. Oh my god.
Itaru from Tokyo also lists his occupation as pro Magic player.
Jin is actually the anti-Rabbits.
How old do you think Shiroshi Ikeda is? Their third.
I might guess he'll be 31.
Where am I betting, man? I bet on 31.
Looking at my sheet. Owns a card shop in Fukuoka.
I like how his draft strategy is trust Itaru.
Yeah, talking about that. It's great. Camille's teammates, Jelger is 22, also a student from Eindhoven in the Netherlands, and Jeroen is 25, student/pro gamer from Dongen in the Netherlands.
What did he remove? What got removed? What got removed with Miracle?
The quadrupod, of course.
Oh.
He can't bring that back if he somehow had a way to bring it back.
Meanwhile, Glissa destroyed Tree of Tails. Mirror Golem has protection from creatures and artifacts. Attacks for 3. Camille's at 14.
Come on, Tornado.
Jin's still at 20.
That's killing that Tree of Tails is big. Keeps him off it. Tornado is so big. He's 6 power? What is he a 6/6 for 7? Or 8? Or 700? What is he called?
6/6 or 7.
Is he really?
Sounds right.
He's
That's
really good.
Gigantic.
He's one of the better rares in the set.
I've never actually had a Tornado Market, so I didn't really know what it does.
1600 flyers.
That guy is gigantic. He's massive. He's absurd.
He's almost as big as McCarthy.
I mean, yeah. Anything I can possibly tangle with a quadrupod, live to tell a tale. Tangle Spider would not do much against used arrows and Glissa.
Glissa attacks. Jin down to 17.
Fresh. No,
Wanderer.
big one.
So Camille looks in a pretty good position now.
I'm going to guess Tangle Spider.
No?
Whoa, at least got
You
his
guessed
salad.
wrong. You guessed wrong, my friend.
He's got a lot of cards in there, doesn't he?
Well, if the Thermal Navigator is really irrelevant. I mean, I think he's probably just got some artifacts he just wants to be good.
Yeah, that's probably a lot. Yeah, Glissa could very well be shutting down a lot of cards.
I mean, he's going to get to the point where he's going to have to just start dropping multiple artifacts on the table at the same time, and then that's pretty much just losing right there. He's got to hope that Mirror Golem can take him all the way. But when the light goes at 14 to 17, the race is usually close. I mean, the good thing would be, like, if he drops a couple artifacts down, it would keep Glissa from attacking, because you just have to destroy it.
How many cards does Jin have?
I believe it's 3.
He has 3 cards?
Camille 11, Jin 17.
Camille's got like Echo Move, the rest to do Camille.
I believe.
And a grab her in Oblivion.
So it's Echo.
It's not bad.
Imagine if you could move those counters to any other.
Hook up the infused
I think
arrows.
that's what Camille's trying to do. But,
Just imagine if Camille had a Goblins.
Mirror Golem could win this race, right?
No,
yeah,
he's got Gobbles. But yeah, he doesn't have a Gobbles.
Jin should win this race. But, I mean, Camille's got answers to the Mirror Golem. So.
And 7 land types.
And 7 land types.
So if he casts Ordered Migration, he gets a lot of bonus.
Glissa attacks.
Camille 11,
Drop Jin to 14.
Jin 14.
Oblivion Stone, there's one answer.
Hey. There's one answer.
Base counter on Glissa. So many bombs.
I know. Look at his board. His board is 3 completely absurd cards.
One absurd card on the other side of the board, but I'm in agreement.
Mirror Golem doesn't compare to. It would be like, what, the 6th or 7th best card in Camille's deck?
I mean, it's definitely probably the 2nd best card in Jin's deck behind the Quadrupod.
Yeah, the Vigor's not looking off from the catwalk.
Talking to Patrick Sullivan.
JSS Superstar.
JSS Superstar, Patrick Sullivan.
Camille needs to stop taking damage as soon as possible. I mean, he really doesn't want to get
Look
trapped.
at Camille's foot. Look at him shaking that foot. Look how nervous he is. He knows he's about to win a Pro Tour.
That's actually how he dances.
He actually puts one leg behind that.
You know what's actually kind of awful, crazy, is that if Jin has a land and Savage Beating, he wins right now, immediately. You're dead.
That is awesome.
In his deck?
There's a condescend. Unless there's a condescend.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't think he has something
Camille 8.
I said if he had a
land
and a Savage Beating,
yeah, I know.
and no Condescend, it would be awesome.
But the fact that he didn't drop the land for the attack.
Thanks.
Or he has
So,
a land.
the Golem does knock Corneliusen down to 8. There's still Shrapnel Blast to worry about, too, right?
Yep.
Does Okamoto have any other burn that can go to the head?
Tornado Elemental?
Barblade. No, Tornado.
Doesn't go to the head. Did he have a bar? Did he have a Barblade?
No, he doesn't have a Barblade. I don't believe. He has a Quadrupod.
Tornado Elemental is also 7, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure what Jin has in his hand. Well, also uses Oblivion Stone.
He very likely has Artifact.
Yeah, it's probably like Thermal Navigator, something else.
Artifacts because of the Glissa. That makes sense.
Yeah, like, you don't want to just, you're not going to drop anything now with an Oblivion Stone. He's already got something out there that's going to make him use it.
Right, so Okamoto's basically just going to ride the mirror Golem, force Corneliusen to use up his Oblivion Stone. Glissa's going to survive, though. Camille took last turn to put a fake counter on the Glissa.
11.
I'm like, hopefully he'll just
Jin's
have
now
a bunch
down
of
to
gas
11.
to drop after that.
So make him blow the Oblivion Stone, then dump a bunch of artifacts and try to overwhelm Glissa.
Unload your hand, or anything. At this point, hopefully he'll have like some sort of big green creature to cast out. Which is still,
Camille can't go to 5, right? He doesn't want to get within Shrapnel Blast range, so he's going to blow with this.
Yeah,
he's got to blow
just
it.
Yep. That's what he's moving land around. It looks like the play. 5 land. Boom. It's actually a 2-for-1 in Okamoto's favor because he can use arrows.
Well, I mean, arrows already killed something.
Yeah,
Sure.
the arrows actually killed 2 things.
Yeah, so it's
still pretty good for Camille.
It's sort of like when Finkel was saying something was a 2-for-1 because it killed a useless pen-tap too. I'm like, what?
It had a counter on it.
I did, but I mean, it already killed something. The entire country of the Netherlands up on the rail.
Yeah, that's a Frank Karsten.
It's the funny
Victor
thing is,
Vanderbroek.
there's the old team: Frank Karsten, Jelger Reigersma, and Victor Vanderbroek. They teamed together for the longest time.
Oh, Tornado Elemental, but it gets condescended.
Oh!
That's what that fist bump was. That was what the fist bump you saw.
Oh
Wow, that's
I thought Heron was just yelling at those kids to get off his lawn. I didn't realize that was actually going on. Tornado Elemental gets condescended.
And one on the top, one on the bottom.
Threat.
one on the top is
One on the top is not good
feel the
news for Jin
excitement.
Okamoto.
You feel the electricity. We feel it back here.
it's a live wire.
That's what we drop it to 8. Another big creature, Thresher.
Oh,
no,
Cumulax.
not Cumulax.
Dear God.
Anything but Cumulax.
That's actually masterful that he held back on Cumulax to stop Tornado Elemental first.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been what was on top after Scry.
I think
it was probably the card he found.
I think he actually
Quite
just
right.
tapped out to activate the Building Stone, so he didn't actually have enough mana to cast it.
I mean, yeah.
That could be it.
Listen, you. I don't have to take that. I'm just trying to say that Camille is awesome.
I think Camille's awesomer. Oh, there's a
Thermal
navigator.
Navigator. Oh, just one artifact. We're talking about Jin trying to overwhelm Glissa. That's not much of an overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Glissa's just going to attack into
And he can trap. He probably.
It does set up Shrapnel
yeah,
Blast.
If he had Shrapnel Blast, he probably should have blasted immediately.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
can't
I
be
mean,
part of
he's got stand together too,
Yeah.
so he definitely just cast it.
So this
And
is just stop Glissa from attacking me for a turn?
or just block it.
I think you just attack with Cumulax.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think you attack. I think you just attack with Cumulax.
well,
You don't want to let him have an artifact
no, you don't
in case
want
he draws Shrapnel Blast.
You don't want to have Echoing Courage. I think you just try to kill the Navigator now.
I mean, if you have something to do.
Yeah, if you have
with
something to
mana,
do. Yeah, you don't burn, obviously,
certainly
but
can't burn. Literally, last turn, Jin went Dragon. He went Power Sick, and now he went Dragon.
yeah.
And he went Thermal Navigator. That was his answer to Dragon.
Nothing. We don't do that.
Close up the Navigator.
Doesn't make sense for him.
Not many other reasons for him to pause, though. No, he's got nothing.
I mean, there's
Man down.
It's not that unreasonable because at least he uses Glissa.
Right.
Like he makes him just Glissa, you know. So
Stand together.
Oof. Uses to stand together rather than burn. Now Cumulax comes over for 7. Okamoto down to 1.
Jin has out.
he has no else. There's the one for sure.
Oh,
there it is.
Give him a chance.
There it Great team, great players. They win $60,000. And hats off to shopfireball.com.
Yeah.
I think the Japanese proved this is sort of the last format they hadn't had any real success in, and that's becoming a powerhouse Magic Nation.
God bless.
And speaking of powerhouse Magic Nations, Von Dutch, the Netherlands, puts another Pro Tour win up on their side of the ledger. I believe we're putting together an award ceremony. We're swooping in with big checks and trophies and whew, that was fun. Confetti. Yep, and Scott Larrabee is down on the floor. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Randy Bueller. I've enjoyed being here with Brian Kibler and Osip Lebedovich, and we're going to turn things over to Scott Larrabee for an award ceremony.
Please join me in congratulating Pro Tour Seattle 2004 champions Von Dutch, Jeroen Remy, Jelger Lindersma, and Camille Cornelissen. As a team, they've won $60,000. Also, let me congratulate their excellent opponents, finalists, ShopFireball.com, Itaru Ishida, Tsuyoshi Ikeda, and Jin Okamoto. They will be taking home $30,000 for their play this weekend. Also, applause for semifinalists from Japan Team SAI and team from Canada, Pocket Rockets. Okay, before we leave, we've got a drawing for a magic snowboard. We're going to let these guys draw them out. Jeroen Remy's going to draw the name. Jesse Kilgore. Are you here? Must be present to win.
He's coming. He's moving.
Is he coming up? Somebody let me know if he's coming up. Yes, very good.
I thought you were great.
There he is, Jesse Kilgore. Oh, he's getting his idea. No. Jesse Kilgore, congratulations. Thank you everybody for coming. A special hand to all the players, all the judges, and all the staff to make the Pro Tour this weekend possible. We'll see you September 1 through 5 in San Francisco for the 2004 World Champions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you know, Camille finally gets it first, though, right? Somebody was finally getting first. Yeah, it was a big win. What was he holding? He had those same 3 cards, right?